My name is Sanchia. I teach landscape design on the Wyndham Habitat Heroes program. So today I'm just going to give you an overview of how to maintain your Indigenous garden. So mulch is super important in establishing a garden because what it does, it keeps the moisture in your soil, which is less work for you because you don't have to be out there watering all the time. And the type of mulch that you use is also really important. Stick to a really beautiful, sort of chunky, organic, natural mulch, which looks so good in Indigenous gardens. There's been a bit of discussion about depth of mulch, and everyone's settled on between 5 centimetres to 7.5 centimetres deep. So you don't want it so thick that when it rains the moisture doesn't reach your soil, but you want it thick enough to suppress the weeds. Don't think you need to spend a whole weekend weeding your garden. Just doing little bits often is much better than doing one big hit once every 6 months. The trick is to weed regularly, and this just keeps the weeds under control. One of the best things to do is to really amp up your weeding in spring. Getting the seed heads before they drop seeds is so important because first of all, it'll make less work for you. So as soon as these seed heads disperse, that means that there's another 20, 50 little weeds starting to grow. So in that early spring season when you just start to see them forming, I get in there and just start weeding. When you create a habitat garden, you'll just see this transformation. You'll start to see lizards and skinks and insects and bees coming into your garden. So the last thing we want to do is to use pesticides and herbicides in the garden. What you'll find after sort of 6 to 8 months or even a season, that there'll be a balance that comes back into your garden. Because you see ladybug keep the aphids down, and then the blue-tongued lizards keep the snails down, the skinks keep the ants under control, and then you've got this beautiful little critter called the microbat, which will come into your garden at night and get rid of all your mosquitoes. I don't use any pesticides in my garden, and I've got a habitat space, but I've also got fruit and veg. It really is just sort of understanding that all these insects are part of our ecosystem, and when you remove one using a pesticide, it really affects and impacts all these other critters. Once you've developed and created a habitat garden, you'll start to find this sort of equilibrium reach into your garden, and you don't have to be weeding and spraying and pruning. It's just going to look after itself.